while while I'm getting shit done. Light it up. Got my candles. Light it up. We are, having a blood moon tonight. This is a time, y'all, if you know how to do rituals, if you got a friend that know how to do rituals, if you cool with a priest or something, this is the night that, you need to have them do a ritual for you. I had a couple of clients that purposely sign up for rituals tonight because of the moon, because there's a blood moon, and so this is some people be keeping up with like these portals and stuff that we need to really be paying attention to. And so normally when we have a very important thing like that, it's like this is the time where it's like, okay, no shortcuts, let's make sure we do everything right. That's why I'm like, let me make sure I get my coconut, my candles, honey, palm oil, it's a lot of things that you need. It's like, making sure that these rituals go completely, right. The reason for so many candles is I have a lot of altars. On special nights like this, like a blood moon and stuff like that, I want to make sure that there's that every single altar, which is always like that anyways here at this house, I want to make sure that every single altar in the house, that it has everything that it needs, that it has the basics. Even though I'm not really working with the Orishas tonight, tonight my goal is to work with Igun. I know what I'm going to do for myself. I know what I'm going to do tonight, and tonight mine is all Igun. But, just because I'm working with Igun, it doesn't mean that I need to neglect the Orishas and start going to every altar, throwing away the old candle. Yep. It doesn't mean that I need to neglect the Orisha. And so, this is kind of like the energy of just to kind of, give you like a clue, where, remember in during the, Passover, where, everyone put, blood on their doors so that the curse can pass them by. And, then in the New Testament, when it talked about, people having their lamps, and some people ran out of oil, and so they said that they had to get out of line in order to go get some more oil. Both of those things are significant. Both the Old Testament example and the more modern example from the New Testament of the lamp, with oil. It's letting you know in both of those scenarios that there are times and portals that you always need to pay attention to, and you need to be ready during that time. This is not the time you want to slip up and not have a candle lit. This is not the time you want to slip up and not have an offering for your deities. This is not the time you want to slip up, that you can literally have a deity that will come and visit you like in the physical or something like that, and it's like without the right things in place, you can miss a huge blessing. And so there are certain periods that you definitely need to pay attention to and don't ignore it. So it's like, even if you don't even need anything from the deities, there's still certain times that you need to always be prepared, where it's like, I don't need anything and I'm not even calling on the Orishas tonight, but I still want to have everything that I need on my altars. And so, like I said, I have a lot of candles and everything because, just because of, I have a lot of altars, and so, this is normally I can tell you the truth. Normally, the main thing that I focus on is the front door. You know, I I give to everyone else only on their day. Only on their day, I give everybody else their stuff. So, on Oko, I'll do it on his day of the week. Yemaya, her day of the week. Olakun, her day of the week, because my Olakun is a female. Obatala, his day of the week. And my Obatala is a young Obatala. It's not the old Obatala. Mine is a young warrior. And those are things that you learn once you get initiated. Coming into it, people be thinking that, like everybody Obatala is the same. Everybody Yemaya is the same. Everybody Oshun is the same. That's what I thought in the beginning too, because nobody, prepared me on that level in books. But when you get your Orishas, you learn that every Orisha has multiple paths. And so the consecrated Obatala that I have can be completely different from the consecrated Obatala that Elijah will get. I was just gonna say I'm missing the candles, but no, it looked like and so the Yemaya I have could be completely different from the Yemaya you have, because even with your Orishas, every last one of your Orishas can have a different path. So you don't have the standard Yemaya of what, everybody think Yemaya is. You don't have the standard Oshun of what everybody think that Oshun is. There's so many different paths of Oshun. You have the path where Oshun is praised for her beauty, and you have the path where Oshun is seen like as a working woman. Whatever you want to call it, working woman, prostitute, whatever it is. You have the path of Oshun that she was a witch. You have the path of Oshun that, when she felt ugly. You have the path of Oshun that she is like Mystique. She's the shapeshifter, and she can shape herself into anything. And so with every Orisha, they all have these different paths. So the version of the Orisha that you're going to get is going to be completely different. Every time when you think of Obatala, you think of an old man. And so that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that, I'm going to get, an old man that is very wise and stuff like that. My Obatala is young as fuck, and he is a powerful warrior. I would have never thought of Obatala as that. When you think of Obatala, you think of the creator of human beings, that he made us out of clay. You think of this very old, wise man that is still powerful with a lot of authority. He was able to discipline Ogun. So, no matter what you think of him, young or old, the power and strength of Obatala, because he was the very first Orisha. So we know that, he has, some stuff compared to, the other Orishas. But, once I got, initiated stuff, went through everything, it's like, damn, my Obatala is a very young warrior. And you tend to kind of know what people Orisha could be based on how they decorate, their altars. And this is one of the reasons why, when it comes to my Obatala has a sword, because I have the version of Obatala that he is seen as a very young, powerful warrior. There's a reason. Not everybody is gonna have plates, with their Yemaya. The version of my Yemaya, this is a powerful offering. She want plates around her. My Olakun is not male. My Olakun is a female. And so you learn those things as you go through initiation. That is the importance of initiation. Is that, in the beginning, you learn the basics, But as you go more and further and deeper in the religion, you understand the importance of initiation and the information that you get as you get initiated. Because there was a lot of things that when I learned it, once I got initiated, I was surprised because I never knew this information, and so it's like no matter how many books I read to prepare me for this, it was a lot of things that I learned during initiation that I was not able to get from books. So, that's just one thing that I want to add. And so now is, tonight is a very powerful night. And so I just want to prepare. Elijah, start with the candles. Yeah. Put the candles in position. I'm gonna hand you the candles one by one, so you make sure that they go on the right altar. Yes, sir. All right. So I know which one. Red and black. This is gonna go as shoe. That's gonna go on the one I just made. Yep. And so on there, Elijah, you see how the cloth is red and black. So on the black cloth, put the red candle. And so that no matter what, it's still synced. You got red and black, you got black and red. So on the red cloth, put the black candle. On the black cloth, put the red candle. Okay, so now this is Elegua. Now this is Elegua is going to go opposite than Eshu. And so if you put Eshu, like red and black, do Elegua is the opposite, black and red. Now I got a lot of Eshu, so Eshu is different from Elegua. Eshu is completely different. Eshu is in everything. Eshu is in everything. Okay, now is for Eshu that's by Elegua. He get a red candle, and then Ochosi is a blue candle, and then Ogun is a green candle. So you can knock all three of those out. Baby, baby, ba 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 da. Oh man, so I'm getting ready tonight for this. This is about to be a good time tonight. This is about to be a good time tonight, baby. All right. Shit, I done forgot. That's why I always grab an extra candle, but I didn't grab. We'll see at the end because I might have to give a Rumula a different color candle because I forgot. Or no, I can actually take this Ancestors that's white and give it to a Rumula because whenever you don't have the right color, you can always use white. But shit, I always. I know a Rumula be like, nigga, what the fuck? All right, give it to Anubis. Anubis is not in the Ifa pantheon. Anubis is Egyptian, but Anubis is one of the, deities that came to me. I don't know why all the deities of the dead want to fuck with me. Boy, at first I thought I was about to die. Because it's like, every deity of the dead, they fuck with me. And so, first, finding out that my head Orisha was Oya. And it's like, okay, I have the goddess of the dead. Then in Palomeambe, it's like, okay, I got, the king of the dead. Then Anubis came to me. Now it's like, okay, now I got, the dead, with the Egyptians, and it's like, I'm like, God damn, every deity of the dead, it's like, they come and want to work with me. I'm like, damn. And that's why I do a lot with Igun. Igun, spirit guides, and ancestors. I do a lot with them. And it makes sense because all these deities of the dead, they fuck with me. And so I do a lot with Igun. Spirits work with me well. So Anubis is black and yellow. Do the black first, then the yellow. And so, I was in the store, preparing for tonight, and boy, as soon as I seen these, how they're just dripping with sweetness, just dripping with, it looks good as fuck. You got the cinnamon in there, the glaze, all of the nuts and stuff on there. As soon as I seen this, I was like, nope, this gotta go to Yemaya. This got to go to Yemaya. Yemaya, baby, Yemaya loves some sweets. I'm like, baby, this going to Yemaya. Yemaya, and that's the one thing about it. You can be in these stores and they will speak to you like, put that on my altar. Put that right there, nigga. So I seen that. That was the first thing. I was like, oh yeah, baby, that's going to Yemaya. Okay. All right, so now the ancestors. So you got to pass the ancestor altar before you start getting this way. So this is the one that's going to go on top, and then these two are going to go on the lower half of the ancestor altar. Okay. Baby. You say you love me and don't mean it. I know. I like that. Boy, now I'll be loving me some crazy songs. Elijah was singing I'll bust the windows out your car. Yeah, I'll be loving me some of these toxic ass songs. I'll be loving it. Cause I be sometimes you gotta love you a little toxic song. They keep you sane. All right, ancestor altar. Okay, now we got Oya. Oya is purple, and then we got Chango. Chango is red. Okay. So yeah, we just starting from the front door, and so that's what I got to finish my my train of thought. Normally when it comes to the Orishas, look, every Sunday we already know here at the end of the day I'm gonna break bread with my Orishas because mine is not for attention to get people to look at me or anything like that. You guys got to understand that I deeply love the Orishas. My life personally completely changed once I started working with the Orishas. My life completely changed when I started working with the Orishas. Okay, you did Oya and Chango. Okay, so that's the last up there. Now we're here because I don't want you going in Sarabanda altar. I'll do Sarabandas myself. All right, okay, so Oko is red, and then Olakun is blue, Yemaya is blue, Obatala is blue, white, and then Oduduwa is white. So go ahead and handle these. And then we got, I'll do this yellow for Oshun over here. Okay. And so, when it comes to me, I do everything. The reason why I do all of this stuff for the Orishas is because the Orishas has been good to me. It's sad. I remember when I first got into this religion, I remember going to the altars and being very real, with the ancestors and with the Orishas that I was like, I didn't want this path. This is not the path that I wanted. I wanted to learn. I knew that I always wanted to learn more than what I was being taught in the Bible. But I never wanted a path that I was going to be so active of, like teaching people this and stuff like that. All this came about, now go light every candle. All of this came about because, somebody started doing witchcraft on me, and I had to do what I needed to do in order to get that witchcraft off of me. and, just pleading the blood of Jesus and, working, calling on, Holy Spirit, it just wasn't enough. As much as, some of the remedies stopped, it was still a lot of stuff that was going on. Like, somebody did some really dark witchcraft. And so what helped me through that, it was the Orishas. It was working with the Orishas. It was working with my Igun, my spirit guides, and my ancestors. They are the ones that helped me through that. And once the witchcraft broke, once that witchcraft broke, my life completely changed. Money start flowing even better. Love, was a little bit better than what it is. Y'all know how I speak about love. Don't even get me on that topic because I'm trying to watch my mouth with it. But things started to change. And so for that, I have a strong gratitude and a strong love for the Orishas because I know what they have personally helped me through, and that is why I do the things that I do is, it's out of that gratefulness. And it was one of the things, it's just like, one of the parables in the Bible where it says that, Jesus helped these people and, some of them just took it and they left. But it was the one person that, Jesus did a miracle for, and they stayed and they thanked. And they was like, thank you. I appreciate you. Let me follow you. Let me learn from you. And, that is the energy that I'm in, is that I have always been in. The Orishas came to me when I was uninitiated. The Orishas came to me when most Babalaos will tell you they shouldn't even be working with you because you're uninitiated. And that's another reason why I have such a deep appreciation and gratitude for the Orishas, is that they came to me when I was pronouncing their names wrong. They came to me when I was giving them things that is not really acceptable for that Orisha. They came to me when, it's like this information I did not know. And they were patient with me. And they held my hand and walked me through everything. And, for that, I have an eternal gratitude for the Orishas. You can tell how the Orishas have blessed someone by how you operate and how you work with your Orishas. You can tell how you have really experienced the Orishas, how you treat them. And, and that's the one thing that I will, always forever be grateful for, is how, they had my back. They had my back, even in the beginning when I didn't even know if I really wanted to go down this path or not, because I had the mindset that most Christians had, where it was scary in the beginning. You are taught in Christianity that all of this stuff outside of Jesus is witchcraft, and it's the devil, and then it's the fallen angels. And I was scared as fuck in the beginning to cross over. But it wasn't until they came to me and they were patient with me and they showed me that you can trust me, that, I'm here to protect you. It was in that moment that, I was able to let my guards down and I was able to walk this spiritual path. So I'm forever grateful. That's the one thing about it. I am forever grateful for my Orishas. I need to. I need to strain.
Oh, the strain is in there.
Is where?
In there.
Yeah, because normally I don't put it over here. And you got a whole damn spoon over here and everything. How does the spoon go? Well, number one, it wasn't supposed to be in there. So we don't have to worry. We don't have to worry about how it fell when it wasn't supposed to be in there in the first place. So that's the least of the worry, is how did it fall? You got every candle lit? You can put these up. Put this one for arugula. He can have that one because all the warriors at any time can get. Or you know what? Oh no, Elijah, you never do that. No, that's bad luck. You never do that. So yeah, don't ever do that. Once that candle is lit, it have to stay lit. It don't matter if we're changing it, who it go to. Take one of the white candles off of the ancestor altar and do the top one. Take the white candle off the ancestor altar and put the red. But now you got to take the skeleton paper off and then just make it a regular white candle and give it to arugula. Don't blow it out or anything. Keep it going. And so somebody said Lucifer didn't want to obey God. What the hell are you talking about? We are not. This is not Bible study. This is spirituality. But and even when it comes to even when it comes to Lucifer, I don't even think a lot of people know Lucifer and the devil are two different people. But it's a lot that Christians don't want to get. They don't want to really take accountability for their Bible. They don't want to really read and get comprehension, like learning Lilith, how she was in Genesis, how it talked about two different women in Genesis. Christians, they only want to see what they want to see. They don't want to see that healing crystals was assigned to every last one of the tribes of Israel. They don't want to see that incense was very important in the tent of tabernacle. They don't want to see that Joseph did divination, and it's a lot of things that Christians don't want to see, and they don't want to see that Bible is nothing but a spell book. They don't want to see that. They don't want to understand that. They don't understand that King James, which is the version that you accepted, practiced demonology. This is the same person that wrote the book for demonology. How the fuck you think he know this shit? But they don't want to see that. And so it's like, when people want to stay ignorant, you can't teach that person. And so it's like you got to allow them to stay in their ignorance. If not, the only thing that you're doing is that, you're wasting your time and your energy. When somebody has shown you that they want to stay an ignorant motherfucker, you got to let them stay an ignorant motherfucker. There's no reason of bringing that nigga, no reason. Wait till they come to you. Wait till they're ready. We got to let these motherfucking niggas just, let them go. Let these niggas go. Let these motherfucking niggas go. Oh, come on, Elijah. Hand me the eggs. This is a really important dish for Eshu and Elegwa. This is really a really important dish. Very powerful dish. And so, especially on the nights like this, where there is going to be a very powerful energy of this blood moon, like me, I want to do everything right. I want to do everything where it's like I'm bringing out the big stops. I'm bringing out, just leave them in there. I want to bring out what I know that they truly like more out of all of the offerings. That's what I like to do on nights like this, where it's like, this is a night where, if you got time, if it don't have to be me, y'all. I do rituals and stuff like that, but it's not selling myself. Whether it's you want to work with me or whether you want to work with somebody else, I highly encourage all of you to get with somebody spiritual that you trust, that know how to do some rituals and stuff like that, and have them to do some type of ritual for you tonight. This energy is too potent and too good for you to just miss out on this energy and not do shit. You know, you can go to my website and order a ritual, or you can go to somebody else, but it's like, tap into this energy tonight. You know, some of you be wondering why good things and stuff don't be happening and stuff like that. And it's like, because you choose to stay ignorant. It's like, even when you look at the Bible where it says that you are supposed to know the seasons, you are in charge of noticing the seasons. You know, you can't use as an excuse, I'm an ignorant motherfucker and I didn't know. You know, where even though you may not be an astrologer, you can get one on YouTube. Even though you may not be a Babalao, you can get one on TikTok. Even though you may not be an Orisha priest, you can get one on Instagram. You know, where it's like there's no excuse in this world of technology. You know, where it's like, everything we can get from somewhere else, where if we don't want to take the time to study and know about these different events and stuff like that, we can get the information from something else. Tonight is just too big of a night for you to be missing out on. Give me the small dishes, the small white dishes. Baby, baby, baby. No, the small white ones, the clear ones. The ones we had first before any of them. Pump it up, pump it up. I don't have no rhythm. I don't want the ones that's not open. Well, you can just keep them there. All right, come on, come over here. These are important dishes where if made right, they're very powerful. And some of this stuff I can't teach you because I can't teach you IFA secrets. I'm not trying to hear none of these motherfuckers saying you're teaching the uninitiated stuff before their time, that you're only supposed to teach them this once they get initiated. And so it's like, look, I don't want no problems with these, because I'm not gonna be like Voodoo Bay and the little blue marine girl, like the blue mermaid girl. I'm not gonna be like them and keep going back and forth on TikTok. I don't have time for that shit. I don't see how these spiritual people have time for this shit. Like, bitch, I don't care. If you out here thinking that you're connecting with the Orishas, that's none of my motherfucking business. It's like, who am I? I am not Orisha that it is my job to correct somebody. And so it's like, I don't see why some of these people think that it's their business to correct somebody else when you don't know how the fuck the Orishas want to manifest in somebody's motherfucking life. If the Orisha's saying that I am Orisha and I'm going to work with this bitch even though she's not initiated, who the fuck are you to try to wreck this person's life and say, you got to do it the exact same way I did it? Both of you bitches, sit the fuck down and focus on your own motherfucking life. It's like, I don't see why the fuck people are so concerned about somebody else's fucking life. It's like, if they are wrong, let the Orishas teach them a lesson. The Orishas will teach them a lesson. That's what Ilegwa is for. Not no funky ass bitch. Leave people alone. It's like, this is why people don't want to fuck with this path now. And I'm not against neither one of them. I don't pick sides. I just look at the foolishness and I see both of them as fools. I see both of them as fools. That is foolish to try to argue with your brother and sister and tell them that you gotta do things my way. That you gotta do it the exact same way that I like it. That is foolishness. That is complete foolishness. It's like, let these bitches be. Let these bitches be whatever it is that they're going to be. Let these motherfucking bitches be.
Don't forget the back of your neck.
Yeah, normally back of the neck when I'm doing divination. I'm not doing divination. I'm gonna get you clean. You know, a lot of these, a lot of people don't realize that some of these offerings that we give, they're offerings and, they're cleansings. And so you take an egg. Come on, hands out. Back to the front, hands out. No, hands. Other one, other side. And so now, it's dried fish. It's dried fish powder. Yeah. I do mine.
With olive.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I say. And so some people don't realize that, these offerings are actually, cleansings as well. All right, so go get that too. Ilegwa. And we do this for every last one of the warriors.
Wait, which one?
Huh?
One.
Ilegwa. Ilegwa is always by the very front door, not Eshu. Ilegwa. Ilegwa, you should know Ilegwa from Eshu, Elijah. Remember, at Ilegwa you put on a dish. Eshu, you got to put it on top of Eshu. Eshu, you got to put it directly on top of him. That's the difference between Ilegwa and Eshu. Ilegwa, you would put it in a dish. Eshu, you dump it on top of him. I remember I had a client of mine, and I was doing divination with, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I've been working with Ilegwa," and I was like, "Let me see him." And as soon as he showed me, I'm like, "No, that's Eshu." Let me tell you the biggest difference. When it comes to Ilegwa, Ilegwa is just like all of the other Orishas. They take rocks in order to consecrate those. And so Ilegwa is going to be a consecrated rock, just like all the other Orishas. Eshu, you can tell Eshu because it's like a pot and it got the cowrie shells making a face. That is Eshu. Eshu, and they're completely different. Ilegwa is just like all the other Orishas where you lay it on the ground and stuff like that. You lay it in a plate. But when it comes to Eshu, you lay it directly on top of Eshu. The difference between Ilegwa and Eshu likes to stay clean. And it's like, lay my shit down. And with Ilegwa don't even like you opening his shit. When you give him candy and stuff like that, he don't like his shit open. You better lay that fucking shit down and you better keep that shit closed. But with Eshu, it is open. It is on top of him. Eshu is messy. Eshu is very messy. It is always something on Eshu, whether it's blood, whether it's honey, whether it's food. Eshu is messy. That's the difference.
My nails bleeding.
Ooh, that's a little bit too much.
You gave him a lot.
I know. All right, so this is gonna go Ochosi, blue candle. Put it somewhere by the blue candle. That's for Ochosi. Because all of the warriors like this dish. This is a very really good dish for them. This is one of the things. This is one of the offerings they really love. So on a night like this, where you got the blood moon, you want to make sure give top tier offerings. Yeah, bring out the good stuff. And everybody is different, and I wish people would mind their motherfucking business, because with this dish really don't require olives. But for whatever reason, it's like my deities, they always tell me to add olives to this dish. And so I know a lot of spiritual people, they're going to be like, people in the religion, they're going to say, yeah, the base is correct, the egg is correct, the honey and the palm oil is correct, and the dried fish on top is correct. But they're going to say, well, why did you put the olives? Because olives is not required for this. Bitch, you got to know your fucking deities. How the deities is working with somebody is going to be completely different how they work with the other person. And so for whatever reason, they like olives. They like olives with this dish. I can't tell you fucking why. All I know is when they tell me these things intuitively, I obey and I do what I'm supposed to do. Mm-hmm.
The cup over there is cracked.
What cup?
Blue candle.
Huh?
Blue candle.
Would that mean you messed it up?
No, like by the bottom.
What does that mean you messed
It's
it
still
up?
steady, though. It's like someone really was fast.
That means you must have broke this when you laid it down. Where did you even put that's why that's issue area. Chelsea is all the way over here. Oh, cool. Here, this is she already got a lot of chicken and stuff. And y'all, one of the things when it comes to Eshu is constantly you gotta keep him busy. This is what I'm taking off of Eshu. Eshu got a whole chicken thigh on there, chicken wings, a biscuit, a cigar. Never keep Eshu unattended with nothing on him, with nothing to do. You're not gonna like the energy. You're not gonna like the energy in your home. Eshu is just like the ancestors. This is daily attention, daily checking in with Eshu. Eshu is not Ilegwa. Eshu is a daily energy. You must attend to him as often as possible. He's completely different than Ilegwa. Ilegwa is not like that. Ilegwa, you can call on him as needed. Eshu, he needs something to fucking do, or he's gonna flip your house upside down. And so you can let me do this last egg, and you can start eating. You can go back to your thing. Let me do this egg for a shoot with you. Come on. Come on, hands. All right. All right, you can go. You can get your meal. Yours is the one that Christina wrote on.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, and you get yep. So yeah, you get one of each. So I'm gonna. Did you get the taco to go with it too?
There's a taco.
It should be, unless you. Oh, she didn't give a. Davey. I'm gonna get on to them. I'm like what the helly? What the hellion? What the helly? What the hellion? Shit. Let me let me show you a shoe. Notice how everybody else theirs was in a bowl. With a shoe is different. And so a shoe, I was started in the bowl, but a shoe is on top of him. And so with a shoe, the whole thing is on top of him. So that's the difference between Elegua and a shoe. And so, it's still following the same steps. And so that's how you know the difference between Elegua and a shoe. You would not see somebody's consecrated Elegua. Somebody would only show you the house of Elegua. I'm not going to go in and show you Elegua. That's bad luck for the both of us. And so when it's the other Orishas, all you see is their house. You will never see Elegua, Yemaya, Oya, Oshun, Chango. You only see their house. That's how you know the difference between Elegua and Eshu. You would only see their house. It's the same thing with Ogun. You only see his house, which is the pot. You don't see the actual Orisha. It's the same thing with Oya. You only see her house. It's the same thing with Chango. You only see his house. And so, that is the difference. You only see their house, but you don't see the actual Orisha. But with Eshu, you see Eshu because Eshu is not in a house. And so, this is an Eshu. This is an Eshu. This is an Ogun, but this is an Eshu. And so Eshu can take a lot of different forms, but regardless of the Eshu is on the outer. Eshu is not in the house. Eshu is not in the house like the other Orishas. And every Eshu is something, something different. Let me get my other Eshu. So, again, Elegua or Eshu? Which is this? Is this Elegua or is this Eshu? You already know it's a lot of things. Number one, I'm holding the Orisha in my hand and it's not in a house. You can actually physically see this. And so you know it can't be Elegua. With me showing you this, it can't be Elegua because I will never show you my Elegua because it's bad luck for the both of us. But Eshu is different. Eshu is always like a statue type form. That is Eshu. And Eshu is dirty. You know, when it comes to Eshu, it's like when you give Eshu cake, Eshu literally like you to smother the cake all around him. And that's why Eshu is always going to be messy. It's always messy with your Eshu because Eshu like things, you know, on top of him. You know, a really good blessing that, you know, like my other Eshu or this one too, is that you take Eshu and get a big cake and submerge him in the cake and just let him sit in the cake and then take the other parts of the cake and rub it all on him and make him extremely messy. That's a good blessing to bring blessings in from Eshu. And so it's very important to know how to work with them both and to understand that these are two completely, you know, different deities. And so see how with, you know, Eshu, it always go on top of him. So I'm just lining the whole thing with the offering because that is what you would, that is, you know, that's Eshu. This Eshu is specifically, you know, different. Every Eshu is different and it does something different for you. This is the two-faced Eshu, which is really good for working with people that are two-faced, working behind your back, spreading rumors and stuff against you. And so, you know, Eshu is so, you know, messy. And so when it comes to Eshu, you can literally just drizzle everywhere. That's the energy of Eshu. You can drizzle that shit everywhere. Eshu is always messy. You know, if you're working with Eshu correctly, Eshu is always messy. Eshu, that nigga ain't gonna never be clean. Elegua is the opposite. Elegua is going to be clean. And so, you know, that's the difference between, you know, Eshu and Elegua. And so now since I got him, you know, offered up, I'm going to put his hat back, you know, on, and I'm going to put him back where he belongs. All right, so we got a little bit more in here. so I don't have to waste this. I can split it up between the other two eshoes. I got a lot of different eshoes. Don't underestimate eshu. Do not underestimate, baby. You can do a lot with eshu alone. If somebody got eshu alone with no other orisha, baby, you can still be undefeated. If you know how to work with eshu the correct way, baby, you will learn. You will learn how people, why some people think that eshu is something a little bit more than the orishas. Eshu is powerful. That motherfucker gonna do what he gotta do. And even with Eshu, it's a lot of things about Eshu that follows different things than all the other Orishas. Eshu is powerful, man. Eshu, don't let Eshu, don't underestimate Eshu. Don't underestimate Eshu. You do not need to connect. You don't need to get every single Orisha. They guided me to do it. I know that that's what they wanted. But, if it wasn't for, them telling me that, if it wasn't for them telling me that, I would have been fine just receiving my hand of Ifa and only having because no, technically you don't get Elegwa into consecration, into initiation. I would have been fine with only having Eshu, Ogun, Ochosi, and Orumula. That's who you would have had when you got your hand of Ifa. And you get the other Orishas when you get consecrated. If they would have told me that it's not a requirement for me to get consecrated, I would have stayed with only that. That's a powerful fucking team in and of itself. Eshu, Ochosi, Ogun, and Orumula, you really don't need nobody else. You good. People don't, more doesn't always mean better. More doesn't always mean better. The more Orishas you get, the more fucking work you gotta do. You just can't leave them unattended, luckily I just do mine on Sundays that I do everything, but more doesn't mean better. Especially you can have 1,000, and if you don't know how to work with any of them, you got 0. All right. So instead of doing a big cake, some of the warriors love sweets. Elegwa, Eshu, and do not forget about Ochosi. Ochosi loves sweets. As well as Orumula. Orumula loves sweets. And so instead of doing like a big cake, because it's at the front of the house, and I don't want it getting in the way when I'm opening the doors. Typically, when it comes to the Orishas up front, I always do like a snack cake because you got to think about space as well. And so all of these we are going to open but one, because when it comes to Elegwa like his shit closed. And so I always keep his shit closed. I don't open his shit. All right, and now since we doing sweets, I grabbed some some pudding as well. You'll be surprised what's really good acceptable offerings. You know, the first dish I made is very specific to Ilegua. And then the other stuff is just things that that's acceptable. They like sweets. So sweets is acceptable. All right, so remember, before you can give to any other Orisha, you have to break bread with Ilegua first. And so let me show you. You have to break bread with Ilegua first before you break bread with any other Orisha. And so now you can see what it's looked like. So the door. The door is a very powerful position. This is the position of protection. This is going to let you know how protected your house is going to be. This is going to let you know how protected your house is going to be. Somebody said, bro, ate the offering. Why do you think that is? There is two Orishas that before you give them food, you gotta taste their offering. It's two Orishas that has painted keys of being poisoned, and before you give them anything, they want you to sit in front of them and literally taste it. And, just so that we can move past, that is Orunmila and Oshun. You never give to Orunmila and Oshun without tasting their offering first. And so that is what you always do. Orunmila and Oshun, you always taste their offering. So this is the position of protection. It is what you put behind your front door is very important. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. You can do chili peppers. You can do coconuts. You can do brooms upside down. There's a lot of things. You can do petitions on giving your house an assignment of what it is you can and can't do. It's a lot of things that you can do to bring protection to your front door. The front door is a very powerful position because this is the position of entrance. This is position, think of the front door is so important. It has it can be very comparable to Ori. Just like Ori has the ability to accept or reject blessings, your front door has the ability to accept or reject energy that is trying to come into your home. And it accepts and rejects energy that is coming in your home based on what you have behind your front door. And so behind your front door, you should always have your warriors. There is no other place that the warrior should be. Ilegua, Eshu, Ogun, Ochosi, Orunmila, and Osun is always behind the front door. There is no other place that they should be. They are always behind the front door. And so, as now is, checking out the offerings, is that, Elegua doesn't like his shit open. And so you notice that everything that Elegua has, none of his shit is opened. Eshu, on the other hand, is very messy and he likes things directly on top of him. You have Ochosi, and one of the things that Elijah just pointed out to me when he was putting the candle up, he was like, Daddy, it looked like it's a crack in the glass. And I looked at it, there's a whole crack in here, but it's still standing. And this is Ochosi, the god of justice. Because there's a crack, and look how it's directly even in the middle. This is Ochosi sending me a message telling me that he's going to give me some type of justice, that justice is getting ready to be mine. I'm going to have to change this cup now, but justice is going to be mine. You got to pay attention to the signs that they're giving you. And so Ochosi loves sweets. And then you have Ogun. And so one of the things about every last one of these, every Sunday I give all of them, I change their water, I give them a new cup of rum, I give them a new cup of wine, and I give them a beer. The warriors, the only one that get beer is all of the warriors, as well as Oya, Yemaya, Olakun, and Oshun. Everyone else is just water, rum, and wine, and a candle. And this is every Sunday. And so it's the same thing. These are all pretty much Eshus. And, it's the same thing, with Eshu, where, it's giving offering. Eshus, it like being messy, and so it's giving offerings to Eshu. Your front door is just very important. If you're saying that you always feel that you're under attack, you feel that, spirits and stuff is in your home, that means your front door is not fortified. That means it's something wrong with your front door. Your front door is not fortified. Your front door, you can make it so powerful that witchcraft will never again come into your home. And I learned how to do all of this because I was under spell work. And because I was under spell work, you will never again see me being in a home without my front door fortified. You will never again see me in a house without my front door fortified. My front door is going to be overly fortified because the biggest thing that I preach and I teach is protection from the things that is in the corner of every house. There's so many things in this house to bring protection. And so, I don't play about that. Protection is, protection is everything to me. When you have experience being under a spell, you operate differently. You operate differently because now you know what people are truly capable of. Elijah, you didn't bring the drinks in. They in the back of the truck. Oh. They was in the back seat because I got you Starry and I got me the Diet Mountain Dew. Okay. So, very important. I got my coconut. I need to break my coconut later for divination. Boy, when the sun go down, it's about to go down. Hey, it's about to go down. I'm going to do all types of rituals and stuff for my clients. And so, because I know what's about to go down, I'm doing all my offerings and stuff now. I'm doing all my offerings now. Because, baby, when that moon come out, it's going down tonight. It's going down tonight. It's really not expensive when the Orishas are blessing you. You don't understand, y'all. The Orishas have blessed me so much that you don't get it. When they have blessed you great, you love them great. When they have blessed you little, you love them little. You just don't understand my position. Like the Orishas have blessed me with a job that I have been six figures ever since I started working with the Orishas. That I had a dream and it said, nigga, get the fuck up, start doing spell work. And it specifically told me to go to Ogun. Ever since I have been working with the Orishas, my life has tremendously changed. Look at the fucking house and stuff that I'm in. My life has completely changed working with the fucking Orishas. And so this stuff ain't shit to me. This is little. This is little compared to the shit that they give me. I love the fucking Orishas. You just don't understand. The way that they have blessed me. Y'all, I promise, I'm forever grateful for the Orishas. I remember when jobs were trying to do things to be sneaky, and the Orishas blessed me to sue the company and to win, and so far, like I don't even worry when things happen on the job because I know that Ogun is gonna get them. So far, one job I sued and the other job gave me such a good severance package, praying and hoping that I don't sue them. And so you don't understand how the Orishas have been to me, how they have blessed me, how they have always made sure that money has flowed in my life. It's like some of the things that people go through, I don't worry about those problems because of the Orishas. When you work with them and you truly work with them from your heart, they will bless you in ways that you never seen possible. I love my fucking Orishas. I love my fucking Orishas. I remember when I was going through my divorce, and it was a lot because I had to move out the house temporarily so that they can have the house, and it was a lot. It was a strain on me mentally, emotionally, financially. I remember, now then I worked a lot with Sarabanda, but I called on the Orishas and stuff as well, and the blessings that they opened up. They opened up a whole new business for me, and a business that started in June. By the time I got to December, my business alone was at six figures. So now I have a business that is reaching six figures every year, and I have a job. I'm still working full time that reaches six figures every single year. And then I get money from YouTube and TikTok. You don't understand how these niggas have literally fucking blessed me by walking this path. The Orishas do not fucking play. They do not fucking play. If you allow them to truly lead and you listen to their advice and you take all the things that they're going to give you, you're going to have a blessed life. I'm not where I am because of me. I'm not where I am because of my fucking degrees and stuff like that. I'm where I am because of the Orishas. They were the one that were telling me what to do. Take this turn, do this, say that. And so I have nothing but gratitude for the Orishas. I know when I first started off, I met a lot of people in the religion, and they were like, how the fuck do you get the Orishas to respond like this? Even my Babalao, he was so shocked at a ritual that I did the other day. And I was like, man, he was like, the Orisha, I told him, I was like, the Orishas told me to do this, and that. And I did it. And I'm telling you, money start pouring in. I started getting money from everywhere. And I was so happy. I was talking to my Babalao, and he was like, dude, he was like, let me tell you this. He was like, number one, don't tell anybody what you did. He was like, when you do rituals like those, you keep those to yourself. He was like, don't start getting on YouTube and stuff like that, teaching people what you did. He was like, you could have tapped into an ancient ritual that a lot of people forgot about, because he was like, the manifestation that came from that, nobody can deny that Yemaya and Olakun truly blessed this, because those were the two that I was working with. But he was like, you need to keep that to yourself, and this is a ritual that you only need to teach Elijah. And he was like, I'm gonna tell you this. He was like, if you talk to some Babalaos, some Babalaos is gonna tell you that you're on bullshit, because the Orishas doesn't speak through intuition like Igun does. And he was like, some of them will tell you that that's not true, because the Orishas will only speak to you through divination. But he was like, I know you, and I know you're not going to lie. And he was like, the one thing that people don't realize is that even though every deity worked through divination, people got to understand that every last one of the deities, it still has a portion of Igun. Every last one of these Orishas that are consecrated, they still have a portion of Igun in every last one of their houses. And because of that portion of Igun, they can speak through intuition if they want. They can speak through your dreams if they want. And it's like, that's the thing people don't understand, but they only want the Orishas to operate in this one way, that you got to do divination, you got to do the songs, you got to do the prayers, but that is not true for every person. Do you need to learn the correct way and the standard way? Yes. But some of you, when they are speaking through your intuition and they are telling you that this is what you need to do, that is what the fuck you need to do. Forget everybody else. Fuck them, they mama, they daddy, and everybody else. And you do what the fuck spirit is telling you to do. Who fucking cares if they agree with you or not? Who fucking cares if they think that you're real or not? Who the fuck cares? Stop worrying about what people are going to think about you. Fuck them. Do what your heart is telling you to do. Follow your intuition. One of the reasons why I have always been blessed on this path, I don't miss a month of doing Ebo. Every single month I do Ebo. Every single month I do a cleansing. People are always wondering why the Orishas respond so fast and stuff like that in my life. Is because I don't use them like prostitutes. I don't use them like prostitutes. Every single month I am doing Ebo. Every single month I am doing cleansings. And every single week I'm doing offerings. I do not miss a Sunday of giving my Orishas offerings. I do not miss a fucking Sunday giving my Orishas offerings. I do not miss a fucking Sunday giving my Orishas offerings. I don't miss giving offerings to my Orishas. If you treat them like a fucking prostitute, that you only call on them when you need something, trust me, you're not going to like the results that you get with them. You cannot treat the Orishas like prostitutes and expect for them to see you as son and daughter. When I first started this, I told the Orishas, I said, I want a relationship with you. It's not about just getting as much as you can from the deities. I want a true, real relationship. And that is what I have. All right. Oya loves chocolate. And so I'm going to put chocolate muffins on her altar with her 9 cups of 9 different beverages. So I'm going to give my mama, her offering of chocolate. Baby, I'm feeling your energy. So I gave Oya hers, and now, and it's like, y'all, if I was y'all, whoever you work with, I would start giving offerings now, because when this moon come out tonight, baby, baby, we about to be on this tonight. I'm not doing no fucking live tonight. I'm doing nothing but fucking rituals. I'm about to do so many goddamn rituals. Look at that. Ooh. 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 Soon as I seen that, the first thing I thought of is Yemaya. Yemaya is the first one that I thought of. Yemaya love her sweets, y'all. I don't know what to tell you. Yemaya, she love her, sweets. And so one to Yemaya, one to Olakun, and of course, one to Oshun, and then the fourth one would go on the ancestor altar. And then I got some blueberry muffins. And it's the same thing. One would go to Yemaya. Thank you, Yemaya. One would go to Olakun. Thank you, Olakun. One would go to Oshun. Thank you, Oshun. And then the other one will go on the ancestor altar. And so, that's it. That's it with offerings, for now. So I got everything prepared so that when it's time for the sun to go down in the field, baby, we finna be up all night. I'm about to be up all night. It's about to go down. On the necklaces is rose quartz from Otter Spirit. So I'm gonna put my cinnamon roll there. I'm gonna put, my muffin there. Look at Mama Oya. Look at Mama Oya. Look at Mama Oya. Look at Oya. Going to get those offerings and stuff now. It's about to go down tonight. Blood moon, honey. Blood moon, honey. Yemaya. 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 Olakun. Olakun. Obatala. Obatala. Obatala don't do alcohol. And Oshun. 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 So that cinnamon, ooh, that glaze and stuff on that cinnamon is good. Well, that is everything. I highly suggest, if you know somebody that do spells and stuff like that, have somebody to do a ritual or something for you tonight. Have somebody to light a candle or something for you to bring in blessings, because it's going down. It's going down. It's going down. It's going down. It's going down tonight, baby. It is going down. Somebody say, pray to God, the Father. I do. Ola Dumare, Ola Room, and Ola Fee. I pray to them all the time. I pray to Ola Room, Ola Fee, Ola Dumare, Ola Room, and Ola Fee through my Ori, using my Ashe. So yes, you know, you gotta talk to the Supreme God. I agree with you. You gotta talk to the Supreme God. Boy, these Return to Senders is about to hit hard tonight. Baby. They about to hit hard tonight. I'm telling you. Don't you fuck with me. Nah, I'm doing it for a client. I'm doing it for a client, y'all. I'm doing it for a client. Let me I can at least, you know, start my offering for the warriors while I'm here. Where's my red where's my red where is my red where is my red where is with certain spirits, they want you to wear certain things when you interact with them. Where is my red? Where is my, I know Elijah didn't move my Elijah. Elijah. Look in my room and see, is that red cloth that I put around my waist? I need that.
Okay.
It gotta be up there. Yep, bring it to me.
Go.
Thank you. to the front. Oh, it's different colors. All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Yeshua. Thank you, Yeshua. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Yeshua. Thank you, Yeshua. Thank you, Yeshua. Thank you, Yeshua. Thank you. Thank you. That's nothing new. When is a white motherfucker or a coon black person not calling our religious demonic? That's nothing new, baby. We used to y'all white bitches. Y'all don't want us in our power. Y'all don't want us accessing our actual religion, our actual DNA, our actual inheritance. We know you bitches want us to stay stuck in a religion like Christianity. So that's nothing new. You white bitches, you colonizers, you want us to stay weak. So you can call it whatever you want, but we use our ancestors and we use our deities, and they are not the demons that come from Christianity that you guys use in order to oppress and condemn your own people. So when is a white bitch not saying something about black business? Now, this area of the house, this is an everyday thing to me. This is an everyday thing. Your front door, my warriors, there's not a day that go by that I don't give an offering to my warriors. My warriors is an everyday work with me energy. What's this house warrior? Tonight is about to be a good night. I can already feel it. I can feel it. Listen, I like the Christian bitches. Oh, that's a that's a black bitch. Oh wow, she lost. That's a black bitch. Oh, I thought it was somebody white. I mean, whites automatically lost. I don't expect them to understand anything we fucking do, but that's a black bitch that's talking about thou should not have no other God before. Bitch, go to Christianity then. No, we're not Christian over here. And if it's saying that you should not have another God before you, then number one, stop calling on Jesus then. That's another God. Why are you calling on that deity? You contradict yourself. And that's the case. I want, every last one of you motherfuckers don't learn anything about any of the prophets, the apostles, or anything. No, why do you need to know their teachings? Apply the same pressure and ignorant to your damn self. But I'd be surprised when, when the black bitches be lost. I'd be like, sister, god damn, how are you so fucking lost? But, hey, some of us, Kim, not all of us is kinfolk. That's the one thing about it. That's the one thing you learn. Not all of us is kinfolk. Some of us like to be white. Some of us want that white privilege, but it's like, sis, that's not us. We have to work with our deities and stuff just to have the same privilege that these white bitches have. So it's like if you lost in the sauce, it's like good luck. You are under the mercy of white colonizer Jesus. I'm not there. I'm not there. I'm at nobody's mercy. I manifest the things that I need. I manifest the things that I want. I manifest. I have the power to manifest and to create the reality that I want based on, and you can look at that in anything, whether it comes from the Bible, whether it comes from the Quran, whether it comes from the Odu Ifa, they all teach you the same thing that God said, I gave you the tool, I gave you the energy, I gave you the resource, that there is a lot of things that you can do on your own now. We don't always need the deities for every little thing. I just like to give my deities offerings. I enjoy it. Shit. I'm not gonna lie. I enjoy giving my deities offerings, but I don't have to. But there are some things we need the deities for, but not everything. You know, there's a lot of things with being on social media that I can take whatever hit you give me. You can say whatever you want about me. That's not going to bring me down because I know who I am. You can disrespect the religion. You can do all of that stuff because at the end of the day, I'm like, the orishas know how to defend themselves. They know how to discipline you for speaking outside of your mouth. Be careful on the things you put your mouth on because some of these deities might jump through the screen and actually beat the shit out of you. And so I don't take the time to defend them because they need not to be defended. That's what I wish that people will understand on TikTok and everything else. They need not to be defended. And so I don't respond to the negative comments and stuff like that. The one thing that get to me though, the one thing that get to me out of everything is when I see a lost nigga. Now that get to me, that hit hard. I love everybody. I love the whites, the Hispanics, the Mexicans, Chinese, Japanese. I love them all. But the thing that get to me more than anything is a lost nigga. A lost nigga, my heart go out for them. A lost nigga, it's like, come on, sis. Come on, brother. You have melanin. You don't realize how having melanin in and of itself is powerful. And I hate to see a lost nigga. I hate to see a coon. I hate to see a coon. Don't forget where you came from. Don't forget what our ancestors had to go through. We're here because of our ancestors. But that's the one thing. That's the one thing that really hit my heart is I cannot stand a lost nigga. A lost nigga is a lost cause. I can't stand a lost nigga. It's crazy. It's crazy how the Hispanics and stuff, they know our religion better than we do. Crazy how that is. It's crazy. 9 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, you're going to learn this religion from somebody Hispanic. It's crazy how they know our religion better than we do. Because we demonize it, because the white man taught us how to demonize it. It's sad. That's the one thing. That's the one thing I can't stand as a lost nigga. I can't stand a coon. No, come on now. That's the one thing that hit my heart. I can't stand a coon. And then the crazy thing about it, pretty soon, even the white people are going to end up knowing our religion better than what we know it. That's crazy. Even the white people are about to start tapping in, and they're going to know our religion better than us, and they're going to use our own religion against us. That's the thing I fear the most, is that we don't want to wake up. We want to only be given what the white man gave to us. You really think the white man is going to give us power when they're trying to oppress us? You really think that when they had us in chains and stuff like that, they're going to give us a weapon to set ourselves free? Hell no. That was programmed. They're going to program you to be a good old slave. Now, when master come out here and whip you, you turn the other cheek. And then you turn the other cheek. And you turn the other cheek. And you get whooped by master 77 times. Because that's a good slave. That's a good old slave. Come over here, boy. Let me whip you again. When we rape your women and take your children, you turn the other cheek and you just pray to Jesus. You pray to Jesus to set you free. You pray to Jesus. Eventually, those slaves got it. Eventually, they said, baby, I don't think this Jesus is coming. We got to do the Underground Railroad and everything else in order to get up out of here. Eventually, Jesus ain't coming. We got to put poison in their clothes. We got to put shit in their food. We got to do all of these things to defend ourselves, because eventually they got it. They got it that a white man was not about to come and set them free when it was a white man that put them in the chains in the beginning. They eventually got it. Our ancestors eventually got it. All right. That's it for now. I'm about to eat, I'm about to rest, and I'm about to get ready for this blood moon tonight. I got rituals and stuff to do for clients. If you want to be added to that list, you can just go to my website and purchase a ritual because it's going down tonight. This is the best time, I'm telling you. This is the best time to do Ebo. This is the best time to do Ebo. If you have never done Ebo before, this is the best time to go to that website and do Ebo. At the bare minimum, do Ebo. People don't realize, I tell you guys, and I'm the type, I don't now when it come to some rituals, I don't do online because especially like with the ignorant ass people in the comments and stuff like that, you don't want that energy to influence the ritual. Energy is very you got to be very on it. Where did I put my shirt? You got to be very on it when it comes to energies. You don't want a lot of unbelievers having access to that they can cast stones and influence the you got to be very careful where you do your rituals and who around because you don't want that energy to absorb in your ritual. And so there's certain things that I don't do because I need to do it in the silence. I need to do it with my ashe only. And so, you know, some of this stuff is very important. You got to be careful with who you let in your energy space. I believe you can't do things while no, you can't do it. And no, you can do a lot of stuff when you bleeding down there, nobody care about that. Just don't go to Ogun. You don't go to Ogun bleeding. Don't go to the god of war that loves blood. Don't go to Ogun, don't go to Sarabanda when you're bleeding. But when it comes to the other orishas and spirits, yes, you can go to them when you are on your period. But yeah, there are certain deities, your deities of war, you don't want to go to them when you're bleeding. Oh, oh God. Whew. Whew. But yeah, you want to make sure that those are the most important things. The most important things is that every month connect with a priest to do a reading, to do Ebo, and to do a cleansings. Ebo is very powerful. Ebo is very powerful. A lot of people, consider Ebo so highly that they don't even do rituals outside of Ebo. That they don't do any, like manifesting money, manifesting love. A lot of people, Ebo is so highly that when they want something, they just do Ebo. I want love, let me do Ebo. I want money, let me do Ebo. I want a career, let me do Ebo. I want to get rid of this witchcraft, let me do Ebo. So, some people strictly do Ebo only. Ebo is a ceremonial offering to the Orishas. Ebo is not like a regular offering. Your regular offerings is kind of like, just like, just like with Oko over here. Ebo is like, a offering is like your candle, rum, water, and wine. That's your, basic offering. Like you seen with Yemaya, is, sweets. And if I got some pork rinds, I'll put some pork rinds out too, because Yemaya and Olakun love pork rinds. And so your offerings is like, your food and your drinks and stuff like that. Igbo is, blood is associated with it. And Igbo is different because in order to know exactly what they want for Igbo, you have to do divination. And that's what the coconut is for. I got to do a lot of coconut divination today. And but Igbo is, 9 times out of 10 is blood. These are blood offerings. It's using animals. And so, especially doing that on a blood moon, oh baby, that's about to be good. Mm. So I'm about to grab something to eat. About to take me a little nap because tonight is going to be a busy night. Tonight is going to be a very busy night. This is one of the nights that I stay up and, you know, um, but the energy is so potent and stuff like that, that you never want to sit back on an energy like this. It's like, even outside of the blood moon, every full moon, you should be doing something. That energy is just too the energy is just too powerful for you to just let it go away. Yeah, you can go to my website to book for today because I already bought animals and everything. Like it's going down tonight. So if you want to do Ebo, all you got to do is go to my website and order it. Ebo is very important. I'm telling you, every last one of my clients that has done Ebo, things start changing in their life. Now I don't want you to get to the point where you only do Ebo when you need something. Ebo is one of those things that you should be doing every single month. I tell people all the time the three most important things every single month you should be doing a reading from a priest or a babalao. You should be doing a cleansing with a priest or a babalao, and you should be doing Ebo with a priest or a babalao. And so, with that, if you can't afford them all, if you can't afford to do a reading, a cleansing, and Ebo, only do Ebo. Ebo is the most important out of all of them. If you can't afford a cleansing, don't do it. If you can't afford a reading, don't do it. Ebo, try to do Ebo no matter what. Try to do Ebo no matter fucking what. Because at the end of the day, you can do cleansings on your own. You can do a spiritual floor wash. You can do a spiritual bath. A cleansing from a priest is more powerful, but you doing it yourself is just as powerful. And so, you can do cleansings on your own. And as long as you're doing them consistently, you will feel the effect like a priest is doing the cleansing for you. With a reading, you can rely on your dreams and stuff like that to get messages and downloads and stuff. And so you can get away with not doing a reading and not doing a cleansing, but Ebo is the most important. Do not skip out on Ebo. Never skip out on Ebo. And I'm the one that, I don't like to force it. I tell my clients about it, and I'm not the type that I'm emailing them every month saying you need to do Ebo. If you do it, you do it. If you don't, you don't. It's not my life. For me, I'm doing it. The only person that I will be on about doing it every month is my son. My son is the only person that I will get on his nerves until he do it. But everybody else is like, nah. That's I mean, we are to care for one another and hold each other accountable. But at the end of the day, you're not my kid. You're not my kid. It would be different for me if you were my God kid, that I'm your godfather in a religion, then I will treat you like one of my kids. I will probably get on your nerves because I will be on it with saying, motherfucker, you need to do this and you need to do it. You know, and so, if there was, because that's just like, things like, even with my kids, when I start getting kids in the religion, I will probably do readings and stuff for them for free just to make sure that I'm on top of them, making sure that they're doing the shit that they're supposed to be doing. But I know my I know my Babalao, he tell me all the time, he's like, you're going to end up having a lot of kids in this religion. And, I'm like, and I've had a lot of people that want me to be their godfather, but I'm like, I take that title very serious. I just don't want to get a stranger off the street and say, I'm your godfather. With me, I'm going to be very picky with mine because I want people that, number one, they have the same fire that I have, that they had the same fire when I started the religion, that I'm like, I'm ready. I'm an open book. I'm ready to learn. I'm ready to do what is necessary. Those are the people that I would end up taking under my wings. I don't want somebody that it looked like I'm going to waste my fucking time. And if that's the case, I'll get an untrained pet. I don't like to waste my time with people. My time is very valuable. And if I'm giving you my time, it's because I think you're worth it. It's because I think that you're going to actually listen. But I don't give people my time for free. Even with clients, there are some clients that my sessions are only 30 minutes. And there are clients that I stayed on the phone with them for like 2 hours. And it was only because it was worth my time. I knew that the person really needed me. I knew that they were taking my advice seriously. And, normally it's clients that's going through a real breakdown. And I don't like to leave people when they're in crisis. And so, there are some readings that I have literally stayed on the phone for hours, just guiding them through and getting them out of that crisis. Getting them, I don't like to leave people in crisis. The only time that I will leave someone in crisis is if I have another reading right after yours and I gotta leave. But if I don't have another reading after that, I buckle up and I will sit on that phone for hours. It was one woman I was talking to that, I told her, I was like, look, bitch, I got to go in 30 minutes, because I got to go pick up Elijah. But there was so much stuff that came out in that reading. I took my phone and I just took it with me in the truck. While I was driving to pick up Elijah, me and her talking the entire time. She's going through the car and we're talking about everything. I hate leaving people in crisis. You gotta walk them through it. It's not about just taking somebody money for a reading or taking somebody money for a ritual. If you are in the position to guide somebody, you need to help them through it. Everything is not about money. You don't have to charge for every little thing. I've had clients where they're like, you know what, I'm going to send you money, for staying on the phone with me for 2 hours. No, you paid for your reading. I willingly chose to stay on the phone. You don't pay me for that. You don't pay me for that. I did it because I was led to do it. I did it because you were in crisis. You don't pay for that. We don't have to charge for every fucking thing. Some things we have to do based on our role as a priest. Some things we have to do based on our experience of knowing what it was like when we were there, when we were in that position, when we were in that energy, when we were helpless and didn't know what to do. And, I always try to make my point with my clients by letting them know, I'm like, look, this is what you need. You need a ritual, you need a ceremony. And I get it. Some of these things are expensive. A ceremony is like $1,000 and some dollars. And so I always tell them, even though you need a ceremony, since you can't afford it, this is what we're going to do now. Go into your kitchen and grab this, and that, and use this for a spiritual bath. Go in your kitchen and boil this on the stove and do a floor wash. Go in your kitchen and grab these ingredients. They're not going to completely remove it, but it's a powerful band-aid that it will give you relief until you have the money to do the ceremony or do the ritual. And so, sometimes we got to learn how to leave clients with something that they can take with them to give a little hope. If you got a client that is saying spirits is attacking me and stuff at night, how dare you leave that person in that state just because they didn't have $1,000 to give you? It's like, how dare you leave that person in that state? Yes, we know what it is that they need. We know at that point that they need a ceremony, but we can at least give them a powerful band-aid that they can at least get some sleep at night. We can at least give them the bare minimum that they can at least get peace of mind, that we can at least give them 3 good days out of the week. It's like, some of us, it's like, how dare you leave these people in this state just because they don't have the money? When some of these bitches stayed in witchcraft for so long, they money is shot. They barely had enough money to afford a reading with you. And so you already know they don't got shit to actually get them out of the witchcraft that they're in. So teach them. Teach them. Tell them. Girl, go to the dollar store and grab a black candle. I always tell people substitutes. Everybody don't have love oil and money oil and reversal oil and all of this stuff in their house. You can give them a cheap substitute that is not going to be as powerful as the real thing, but it's still going to give some power and some relief to the situation. I'll tell people all the time, look, I know you don't got no money oil and stuff in your house. Go to the damn kitchen and get some olive oil. Every last one of you niggas got olive oil in the kitchen. Don't fucking play me. Every last one of you bitches got olive oil in that kitchen. So even though olive oil is not money oil and love oil and stuff like that, that was shit that our ancestors used and it's just as powerful. Get you some olive oil. If you want something coming to you, you rub it on a candle clockwise. If you want it to remove from you, you rub it on a candle counterclockwise. And so it's like you can teach them band-aids. I have clients all the time. Rashad, I don't got no money. I can't afford it. What do you think I'm finna say? Bitch, get the fuck out my face? No. I'm gonna say, girl, go to the dollar store, grab you a green candle that is a 7-day candle, get some olive oil, rub it clockwise, take a little cinnamon and sprinkle it on there, take a little parsley and sprinkle it on there, take a little basil and sprinkle it on there, light that motherfucking candle and recite Psalms 4. All of these people where it's like, oh, these spirits and stuff is attacking me and I don't have the money, for the ritual. You're going to need a ritual and stuff to get rid of that. But let me give you a band-aid. Grab you a white candle from the dollar store. Get some olive oil and rub it counterclockwise because you want this stuff to remove from you. Take some sea salt and sprinkle it on there and light that candle and recite Psalms 3. Recite Psalms 91. Your kids is acting a goddamn fool and it's taking a piece away from your home. Go get you a blue candle from the dollar store. Get some olive oil and rub it clockwise. And you can take some sea salt. You can take, the average person might not have angelic root. So that's not a good one. Sea salt. Sea salt is fine because the other ingredients you're not going to have unless you actively practice hoodoo or Santeria or Ifa or something like that. The other stuff you're not going to have. You're not going to have the other ingredients. It's no point of even naming them. And so sea salt is fine. Put that blue candle by the front door and recite Psalms 1. There's things we can do. Stop being a jackass when it comes to clients. Stop being money hungry when it comes to clients. That's the one thing that, and I say it, and I say this not saying that I'm better than anybody or trying to brag, but the Orishas, they put me in a position that I don't need money from clients. I don't need to desperately put myself out there and to try to scam somebody and to get every penny from out of a client. I don't need that. I have a good 6-figure job that pays all of my bills. I just don't want to pay for your shit. Every last one of my prices are priced based on the ingredients that I got to purchase. Majority of my rituals and stuff it is priced not for labor, but for the things that I need to get in order to really do a ritual the proper way. And so I'm blessed. I'm blessed that I don't have to depend on clients for my lifestyle. Everything is paid through my job, and I still have money left over once I have paid all of my bills. So money is not a drive for me. You know, financially, I am blessed. Money has always followed me. Money is my friend. Money is the thing that, love on the other hand. But remember, I'm fasting. I'm trying not to say anything negative about love. But love on the other hand, I'm going to keep it at that. Dot, dot, dot. Money is easy for me. Money has always followed me. I have manifested so much damn money. I manifested $17,000 in order to get my initiation. I have manifested so much goddamn money. Money has always followed me with getting my job and everything. Money is the easiest thing for me to manifest. I can manifest money like shit. Ooh. I'm trying my hardest not to say anything about love. Because when you speak it, you are speaking either a curse or a blessing. Let's just say the way I manifest money with ease is it's not the same with other things. I don't even fuck with a lot of stuff outside of money unless it's for a client. Because I can manifest, and normally I think my roadblock is my mind, is myself, is because this is what I truly believe. And so that is a roadblock in and of itself. But, when it comes to love for my clients and stuff, I manifest like shit. My stuff be going. That's the one thing about it. I'm really good with spell work. Spell work is my motherfucking anointing. I love me some spell work. And every kid of Oya, if Oya is your head Orisha, open your eyes and know that you need to start doing rituals. Children of Oya is good with magic because magic is Igun. Magic is Igun. The manipulation of energy, the transmuting power of energy, it is Igun. It is Igun, spirit guide, and ancestors. It is the spirits. And so, Igun is in everything, even when it comes to the deities. So children of Oya is half Orisha, half Igun. Children of Oya is good with magic. They are good with divination. If you are a child of Oya, we are good with mediumship. When it comes to children of Oya, we are good. And so if you are a child of Oya, pick up a book on hoodoo. Pick up a book on any type of magic and watch how successful you're going to be in it. Watch how things are going to start manifesting quickly in your life. Children of Oya is very good with magic. That is the one thing that I will always say. That's just like a child of Ogun is always good with employment. If a nigga is broke and they're a child of Ogun, it's because they want to be broke. I'm telling you now, a child of Ogun is not going to starve. I can promise you that. A child of Ogun is not going to starve. You're not going to get that nigga to starve. I promise you that. I can put that on everything. Baby. Shit. And one of the most powerful is a child of Yemaya. Baby, a child of Yemaya is like you walking around with a bulletproof vest. A child of Obatala, justice is always going to be on your side. A child of Obatala and Ochosi, it's like y'all niggas got automatic justice. Somebody do something to y'all don't even have to pray to the Orishas. They already instantly went into karma. a child of Obatala and Ochosi, like justice is yours. The court system is yours. Spiritual court is yours. And baby, a child of Ilegua, doors will always be open for you. They are never shut. You are very powerful. Doors is always open for a child of Ilegua. One of the most powerfulest deities, because you cannot access any other Orisha without Ilegua. You can try. Ilegua is very powerful. They are tricksters, because that energy is associated with Ilegua and Eshu. But doors are not, you like, how the fuck did you get this door open? These motherfuckers do the impossible. A child of Ilegua. Especially if they learn how to work with Eshu too. This motherfucker knows every shortcut. How the hell did you jump from team member to CEO? They know every goddamn shortcut. They do things in half of the time. Baby, a daughter of Oshun or a son of Oshun. Ooh. It is said that if any Orisha can replace Olodumare, that Oshun is qualified to be God. Olodumare is God of the earth. And it said that if anything was to happen to Olodumare, Oshun is the deity that can replace God, which is the youngest Orisha out of all of them. Oshun is the one that everybody overestimate because they think that Oshun is nothing but beauty. That's all this bitch can bring is beauty and sex. Everybody underestimate sons and daughters of Oshun. You see them as just beauty. You see them as sex workers. You see them as freaks. You see them as not bringing anything to the table. And every single time they exceed your expectations because Oshun is a full-blown witch. Never underestimate Oshun. Never underestimate her children. Because when Oshun laughs, you think that's a good thing. Somebody is about to learn a lesson. And that's if they don't die. And so with Oshun, you learn quickly. You laugh now, but pretty soon they're going to be laughing and you're going to be crying. Don't fuck with a son or daughter of Oshun. Oshun is very territorial of her children as well. Chango, that nigga. But Chango speak once. When Chango tell you something, you better do it. When Chango tell you something, you better do it. Man, every last one of the Orishas, they have their own thing. All of them are beautiful energy. All of it is, very beautiful energy. Never underestimate the Orishas, man. The Orishas are very powerful. The Orishas are very, very powerful. So, you really need to what is this person talking about? Baby, I've been crying for 10 years straight. I'm not phased by threats. These are threats. Who is threatening her? Is she talking to somebody in the comments? Is somebody threatening this person? Because what is she talking about? Saying that somebody is sending threats to her. Who is sending threats to this person? Hopefully nobody in the comments is bullying you. I'm sorry, I'm not even paying attention to the comments. I just so happen to notice that. Who is threatening this person in the comments? Normally y'all just have y'all attacks going towards me, and it don't faze me. But don't be attacking, my followers, whether people are in the chat for me or not. Don't be starting any arguments or anything in the chat. That's not what these lives are about. Uh, you said that you said this is the girl that I misread her comment earlier. I don't think that was her. I don't think I is that that's I misread. What was the comment? You said I misread her comment. Somebody says she's been very. So she's talking to me, saying that I was threatening her. Oh, what did I insult you about? Oh, it must. Unless it was a Christian comment, I'm always on the Christian comments. I'm always on the Christian comments. I got something to say about Christians all the time. And so, when I say something about Christianity, it's not an attack on the person. When it comes to Christianity, I'm 100% against the organization. I'm not going to change my view for anybody. I'm 100% against Christianity. But when it comes to the Bible, I sway a little bit because the Bible is a spell book. You see me reciting scriptures and stuff myself. And so I'm 100% against Christianity. And so if I feel that any comment is rooted in Christianity, the organization, oh yeah, I'm against that shit. I don't apologize for that. I'm unapologetic for that. I do not like the organization of Christianity because to me, every last one of them are demons. It says that it says that the devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And that is a description that can apply to most Christians. And so I am 100% against Christianity, the organization, but the people that just read the book and they apply it from a spiritual lens, we're family. We get along because we understand how to take the truth and to leave all of the lies. But no, I'm against. Yeah, I'm not the one to watch. If you're Christian, oh, I'm not the one to watch. You should never join my lives. Don't never join my lives because I got everything to say about Christianity. Especially growing up in the church, you see all of the cracks and everything that the church have. So I'm definitely not the person to watch if you are Christian. And then another thing that you got to keep in mind too is that I don't read the comments like that. For the most part, every once in a while, I may see something that sticks out of all of the comments and I may comment on it. It's nothing personal or anything like that. It's just so happened that I seen that comment and I responded based on what the comment was. But it's not like half of the time, I don't even see the person that actually sent the comment. I'm just reading the comment and I'm like, oh, this is some bullshit. So I don't, you'll never see me like with this thing that's going on with Voodoo Bay and the little blue mermaid girl on TikTok. You're not gonna see me in no beef like that, baby. And that's why I don't do it on here. I'll let people say whatever they want to say. You can call me anything. You can call me zesty. You can say, everything about Oya Crown and all of this other stuff. Baby, I'm not gonna respond to that. And I'm definitely not gonna defend an Orisha when they're powerful enough to attack your ass. My job is not to defend the Orishas. It's the opposite way around. They defend me. They protect me. And so I'm not here to defend the Orishas. They know how to defend them damn selves, especially from a human who is less than. So I don't defend the Orishas. I don't see how people be on that they're so quick to try to defend the Orishas and then end up, really going in on somebody. I don't defend the Orishas. They know how to defend themselves. It's not my job to be on people's pages making sure that they're following every process the correct way. That's not me. Especially when you know that there's always a loophole. is what they tell me to do, they can tell you to do something completely different. They can tell me that it's a requirement for me to do a spiritual bath every week, to do a floor wash, to do this and that. And then for you, they tell you the only thing you got to do is wear white. And you like, what the fuck? And some people will see that and say, that's false. You still got to do cleansings and all of this other stuff. No, if that's what the Orishas told you, that's what the fuck you do. There's a reason why they told you what they told you. You follow the Orishas and not man. We don't understand why the Orishas told you that. We will never be able to comprehend and to truly understand why they are telling you to do something different. But if you truly believe that it's from the Orishas, you follow that intuition and you follow that message and fuck what everybody else got to say. You know, people, you know, you have babalaos and stuff that say the Orishas don't show up in people's dreams. Motherfucker, it's too many people that have confirmed that they have gotten dreams from the Orishas. And even when I have heard the dream and interpret the dream, you can tell that the dream really came from the Orishas. And so we have to understand how to listen to the Orishas no matter what. You know, that's just for me. I listen to the deities no matter what. The deities is the most important thing. And so, I don't, you're not gonna see me, y'all not gonna see me doing no fights and no battles with somebody. I'm gonna stay, if anything, I'm gonna state what I gotta stay and I state and move on. You're not gonna see me wasting my energy with somebody that I don't even know. And that's the thing about it. I think that we all, we look at some words as negative, like when somebody is nonchalant, we all should be nonchalant to strangers. Why are you so invested with a stranger when they are nothing to you? They are not your brother, they're not your sister, they're not your mom, they're not your dad, they're not your aunt, they're not your uncle. Like this bitch is, not even a neighbor on your block. We should not be concerned about strangers. When it comes to strangers, we should be so nonchalant because it's not our business. We should be so where it's just like, oh, none of my business. Even if I think that something is wrong, I'm like, well, none of my business. The Orishas will tell them. It's a couple of times where I have corrected somebody, but I didn't go into a debate. Like I seen somebody had a beautiful altar for Obatala, but they had all of these bottles of alcohol on there. And, they gave them all of these white offerings. And so they gave them alcohol too, because it's clear. And, I said something about it because that is a taboo. That is a bad taboo that will bring you a curse, giving Obatala alcohol. And so, I privately said something to the person that I was like, if I was you, I would take the alcohol off that altar for Obatala because Obatala is not supposed to have alcohol, and this is why. There is a painted key that told us that Obatala is the one that made mankind out of clay, and he started messing up on the bodies after drinking palm wine. And because of that, that is why people are born disformed. And so now when it comes to Obatala, you are never supposed to give him alcohol. Even being a child of Obatala, it's not wise for his children to drink and do drugs and to smoke. There's a lot of what you can and can't do based on who your head Orisha is. And that is the importance of learning who your head Orisha is, because it's very important. And sometimes, so there's some loopholes in this too, because sometimes your head may be Obatala, where it's not wise if your head is Obatala to drink alcohol and stuff like that. But your path may be a different Orisha. Your head may be Obatala, but your path is the reincarnation of an Orisha. They're going to give you an Odu Ifa that is going to match up with one of the paths of the Orishas. And so your head may be Obatala, but your path may be Ogun. And so with your path being Ogun, there's a lot of things that, now you can get away with, because when it comes to Ogun, you need to spit alcohol on Ogun. You need to blow cigar smoke on Ogun. And if your path is Ogun, it's a lot of things that you're going to have to do with Ogun now, even though your head is Obatala. And so, it can get a little deep and complicated sometimes, but who your head is, make sure you honor them and how you live your life, and as well as how you honor them by honoring their altars. I'm sleepy, y'all. I'm about to take a nap. I'm about to take a nap before I start doing all these rituals tonight. And then I'm still gonna go out for a drink too, because I'm gonna take Elijah out to eat later. And what is my favorite drink? It's something now, y'all should know what my favorite drink is. The people that's been following me for a while, boy, I got one drink that I really, really fucking love. Oh, I got me a drink that I fucking love, that I drink all the time. My favorite drink, man, is an Amarella sour. I love me an Amarella sour. Oh, I got it. That hit the spot every time. I love me an Amarella sour. Long Island is good, but it don't beat that Amarella sour. I'm sorry. That is the shit for me. Ooh, that's the shit for me. That is my choice. That is my choice of drink. But I'm about to take me a little nap. I'm about to go eat. Go with Elijah to get something to eat. Get me a good drink, and then shit from there. That moon is gonna be out at its highest, and it's gonna be rituals. It's rituals, nothing but rituals tonight. So I already got all my offerings and stuff, so I'm good. So all I got to do now is go in with Ebo and all of the prayers and the songs and stuff like that. So it's about to go down. And everybody that's participating, whether you're using me or somebody else or yourself, you're going to end up seeing a lot of results with doing rituals on this blood moon. So be prepared for doors to open. Be prepared for doors to open. So make sure that you are prepared for doors to open, man. I like every full moon you should take advantage of, but when it start being specific things like blood moons and stuff like that, take advantage of that shit. Oh yeah, whiskey is good. Whiskey is good. Whiskey is good. All right, y'all. Well, I'm out. I'm about to take me a little nap real quick, get me like at least a good hour or two, and then I'm gonna be up. I'm about to eat, drink, and then get to these rituals. All right, y'all. I'm out. 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 You can tell when I get sleepy, because when I get sleepy, I get more silly. I get silly all the way to the point till I pass out. I am my silliest when I'm tired. So you can always tell when I'm fucking sleepy, because I will sing, dance, and everything else until I just completely pass out. But tonight is just going to be such a beautiful blessing. I can't wait to see how everything unfold, and people's lives and the blessings and stuff like that they report. This is going to be a blessed time tonight. All right, y'all, I'm out.